Okay, kids, we started with the lean production and we studied what is lean production. Lean production is the name of set of techniques that help to reduce the wastages in production process and also improve the quality of the production. Now, we call it lean production is not one technique. Lean production is the set of technique that is used by business to cut down the waste of resources. That resources might be anything. For example, time it can be. For example, it can be use of raw material or something like that. They actually try to increase the efficiency of their operations because in the competitive market, only those business survive that have maximum efficiency. It means that they can produce maximum products in the minimum cost or the minimum time. That's why business try to be efficient always, and lean production gives them a path, a way to become more efficient in the market. It not only tries to reduce the time taken for the production process, it also tries to reduce the raw materials and labor that is needed to produce a specific commodity or item. Similarly, lean production tries to add more and more value to the goods so that their selling price can be increased and they can be sold at higher price. Now let's talk about what are the wastages that can happen during the waste production process, the wastages that lean production tries to control. The first wastage is overproduction. When we talk overproduction, it means we have produced such number of goods and services that are not being ordered in the market. So that's why they are not being sold. If they are not being sold, we have to keep them in the warehouses. This will increase our inventory cost. This will increase our warehouse cost. Similarly, second wastage that I've written in front of you is waiting. The time can be wasted when one good is being produced, another raw material is in process and not being used at that time. That raw material might be perishable and might get out of date, out of fashion, out of order or something like that. It will be wasted. So waiting can create another wastage. The third that I've written in front of you is transportation. If you move products from one place of factory to another more quickly, more oftenly, it means that there are likely chances that the raw material or the work in process that is very delicate will be damaged and will not remain usable. Okay, then the fourth one I was writing was the unnecessary inventory. Keeping too much inventory in the production also create wastages, because that inventory might become out of date, that might become out of fashion or something like that, and it might not be used in the future. Okay, another wastage in the production process is motion. Bending or stretching movement of the body of employee, it will waste time. For example, if employee will have to pick an item quickly and use that in the product that he is assembling. Now if the employee will have to every time bend and pick that product up, what will happen, that it will waste his time. If he was to fix that bolt, for example, in 3 seconds, and if he bends every time, it will take him 7 seconds, for example. This will waste time. So what organizations do, you will study in A levels, they use Kaizen for that. Kaizen we study in O levels too, but we do not have much detail of that. They use Kaizen for that, in which the trays of that bolts are moving around, and the exact bolts that the employee will have to pick, the exact parts of the machine the employee will have to pick, are usually shining. They are sorted out separately, and they are up to the body level of that employee. So employee might not have to bend and pick that product, and the time won't be wasted. So motion is any movement or bending that wastes time of employee. Then over processing. What is this over processing? If complex machinery is being used to perform simple tasks, then it's wasteful, because complex machinery is used for the complex products. It cannot be used for every smaller tiny kind of product where such a complex machinery, the complex machinery will be depreciated. The complex machinery will use the electricity utility according to its own requirement. But if you producing a tiny and simple products, it's simply waste of the machinery and all that. That is called over processing. Then another defective another problem with the that is called wastage is called producing defective products. If your quality controls are weak, it means that you are not meeting the requirements of the consumer. You are producing such products that are faulty. Consumer will return them, and your time and money invested in production of those items will be wasted. So these are the wastages for the because for the reason of which we actually use lean production techniques. Now let's talk about what are the benefits of using lean production. First of all, if you use lean production technique, it means less storage of raw material or components. That will lead to less wastage of inventory and all that we studied. Lean production will lead to quicker production of goods and services. If you produced items through lean production techniques, it means that no need to repair defective products. You do not need to provide replacement services. It will also save your cost. If you are using lean production technique, it means you are using better, you are actually utilizing your plant and machine in a better way. So we call it better use of equipments. Cutting of some processes, which speeds up the productions. Uh, we can also cut some processes which speed up the production. Similarly, if we use less inventories, it means lesser capital is tied up in inventories. It also leads to improved health and safety situations inside the organization because labor will be working less time, being more productive, and lesser injuries will be possible as a result of that inside the organizations. Improved health and safety conditions. So these are the few uh, advantages that we obtain out of the lean production technique.